Your team is amazing. It works at the highest level of efficiency and reacts responsibly at lightning speed of each situation. At the time where additional effort is required, your team member switch the rules interchangeably to get the work done. If this is not the case with your team, they definitely need training. That's what exam content outline 5 in people's domain is talking about. I am Islam Tanas, your instructor for the PMP Project Management Professional exam preparation according to 2021 exam content outline. One of the main rules as a project manager is to make sure that your team is very well trained to perform their tasks appropriately. You might need to train your team, customer, and other stakeholders. Each of them has different needs according to the role in your project. For example, in an agile project, you might need to train product owners to prioritize the backlog and also train the Scrum Master in other aspects, such as facilitating daily stand-up meetings, review meetings, and also retrospective. Training plays a crucial role in managing change in your organization. For example, you might need to change the approach of managing your project from predictive to agile. So training helps your team to change smoothly from predictive to agile. Training team members and stakeholders has 4 enablers. 1, determine required competencies and elements of training. In other words, identifying training needs. 2, determining the training approach. For instance, instructor-led training or virtual training are you going to use to deliver the training program. 3rd, is identify the training resources. So allocate resources for the training, such as people, cash, and equipment. 4, after you deliver your training, you should assess your training against the objectives. So did the training program satisfy the objectives you had identified in the beginning? If it's not, you have to repeat the training again or figure out where is the problem located at. Let's explain each of these enablers in detail. Some deliverables and tools we are going to discuss. Deliverables such as training and mentoring plan, cost estimates for the training program, assessing results of the training, and issuing certificates. Tools such as identifying gap analysis, training delivery, pairing and mentoring. The first enabler in our exam outline is determining required competencies and elements of training. First, we need to know what is competency. Competency is the capability to apply or use a set of related knowledge, skills, and abilities required to successfully perform a specific job. Of course, this job is related to the project. We use some tools to identify the required competencies, such as skill gap analysis. Skill gap analysis is the difference between the actual skills that the team has and the required skills. So the difference between the current skills and the desired skills is called the gap analysis. And we are going to identify this gap. And by identifying this gap, this process is called the gap analysis. By conducting a skills gap analysis, it helps us to identify the skills we need for our project to satisfy its goals. So the skills gap analysis involves conducting sometimes questionnaires, interviews, and surveys in order to collect feedback from the team and stakeholders regarding their training needs. Skill gap analysis might also include SWOT analysis. SWOT stands for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. This will help us to identify the strength points and weak points of our training talents or training needs. You, as a project manager, could decide the needed skill for the team in 4 areas according to Project Management Competency Development Framework, PMCDF. The 4 areas are knowledge, performance, personal, and industry specific. The knowledge area concerns about understanding of the knowledge. For example, some organizations might use certification such as PMP or CAPMP in order to measure the project management competency knowledge for its team or stakeholders. Performance is about applying this knowledge and putting it in practice. Personal traits such as confidence, commitment, proactive, can-do attitude, and outstanding communication. And finally, industry specific such as legal and safety requirements. The second enabler is determining the training option. First, let's define what is training. Training is the action of informing and instructing your employees on a certain task in order to improve their skills and performance. You have to bear in mind that different stakeholders have different training needs according to the role in the project. Training types can be classified into on-the-job training, formal training, and informal training. On-the-job training such as mentoring and coaching, peer-and-peer coaching, formal training such as classroom training, virtual learning environment, and also blended learning. Informal training such as conference, face-to-face meetings, podcasts, and document reviews. You'll find some questions in exam related to peer-to-peer coaching, mentoring, and coaching. So you have to concentrate on these areas specifically. Pairing and mentoring. You'll find at least 3 questions in the exam about pairing, mentoring, and sharing knowledge. Agile approaches usually adapt pairing, mentoring in order to improve the skills within the project team. Pairing, mentoring. It's about enabling the experienced team members to coach novice or less experienced team members. The best practice is to change the pairing frequently to share the project knowledge throughout the team. Let's have some questions to robust our understanding of what we have learned so far. Quiz 1. Some members of a project team are frustrated by new team members who previously worked in a Scrum setting. This new team member approaches members of the project team on daily basis in what appears to be an attempt to engage in individual stand-up meetings. What should the project manager do? I'm going to give you 1 minute to think about the answer. Of course, answer D is the correct answer. Mentor the new team member on the methodology of the project team is using. Why answer D is the correct answer? Of course, because you have some keywords here in the question. The first keyword is a new team member. So the team member is new to the project, and he was trained before to use a Scrum setting, or he used to use a Scrum setting. In the current project, is using another approach, which may be predictive approach, or any other approach may be hybrid approach. So the new team member approaches other team members in the current project to daily stand-up meetings, with which he was used to do before. So the right correct answer here is to mentor the team member and coach him in the methodology what we currently using. If we go through the other answers, such as A, B, and C. A, schedule a meeting for the project team to review the communication management plan. There is no problem here with the communication management plan. So answer A is wrong. What about answer B? B tells the rest of the project team to continue discussion with the new team members. It doesn't help solve the problem. If you are going to discuss the problem with each other, it doesn't help. Answer C, send an email to the project team outlining the communication strategy. So answer C, it doesn't also help to solve the problem. So the wise answer here is the answer D, mentor the new team member on methodology the project team is currently using. Question 2. During the daily meeting with the team, the project manager notices that a new team member is not making the expected progress on an assigned task. What should the project manager do? I'm also giving you 1 minute to think about the answer. Of course, here, the wise answer is D. Ask an experienced team member to coach the new team member. Why? Because we have here some keywords, just as a new team member in the second is not making the expected progress. So we have a problem here within the performance of the team member that makes him doesn't make the expected progress on the assigned task. So the wise answer here is D, as an experienced team member to coach the new team member. As we have mentioned before, coaching, mentoring, training, pairing is about an experienced team member is going to coach the novice or non-experienced team or less experienced team member. So why answer A is wrong? Answer A says about ask the new team member to follow the team ground rules. The team ground rules are concerns actually about decision making within the team, communication, while we have conflict within the team, what we are going to do. So referring to the team ground rule doesn't help solve the problem. What about answer B? Ask an experienced team member to identify a replacement. So you are going to replace the novice or less experienced team member with more experienced one. This doesn't help to solve the problem. Actually, as a project manager, you replace the team member. If you fail to train him, if he doesn't improve his performance after training, if you fail to coach him, or he doesn't need to make any improvement, or maybe he's not motivated to make any improvement. So your job here as a project manager is to motivate the team, train him, coach him, try to pair him with more experienced one. So answer B is not a wise answer. What about answer C? Ask a new team member to reassess their own capabilities. The new team member might assess his own capabilities or his own performance, but it doesn't help. Your feedback, your training, your coaching, pairing with other team members will help to solve the problem rather than assessing his own capabilities. Training team members and stakeholders has 4 enablers. 1, determine required competencies and elements of training. In other words, identifying training needs. 2, determining the training approach. For instance, instructor-led training or virtual training are you going to use to deliver the training program. 3rd, is identify the training resources. So allocate resources for the training, such as people, cash, and equipment. 4, after you deliver your training, you should assess your training against the objectives. So this is the training program satisfy the objectives you had identified in the beginning? If it's not, you have to repeat the training again or figure out where is the problem located. Let's explain each of these enablers in detail. I sincerely appreciate your attention today, and that brings us to the end. I would like to thank you for your time and attention today. Thank you so much for your interest and attention.